So we are live. We'll just wait for a few people to join before we start. But welcome to our first live stream of 2021. And I've got a really exciting topic for you tonight. So wherever you are tuning in from, give us a little hello, a little wave where you're from, and we'll start in a few minutes. And if you've got any questions tonight, then please pop them in the comments for myself and Ilona, and we'll be really happy to answer them as we go through the Q&A. So yeah, welcome everyone who's joining now. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Karen and I am the founder of Blomma Beauty, and we're hosting this live stream tonight. And Blomma Beauty is an organic beauty and wellbeing store, but we really like to give personal service and bespoke recommendations. So we put on lots of events and experiences to help our customers and community, learn about conscious wellbeing and beauty. And I think tonight's topic really fits that. So I really hope you'll enjoy the conversation tonight. Hello, Anna. Nice to see you. If you've got questions, please pop them in the side, and we will be really happy to answer them. So I'm just gonna introduce Ilona. Here she is. Welcome. So tonight we're going to be talking about nutritional skincare, which I think is really interesting topic. I mean, we obviously sell lots of beauty products that go on the skin, but it is really important. My mum would always drill into me as a child, what you put in your body shows on the outside of your body. So yeah, welcome Ilona. I think it's going to be a really interesting conversation tonight, and you are a qualified nutritionist. Do you want to start by telling us a little bit more about your history, your background, and how you came to be a nutritionist?
Yeah, hi Karen. Thanks for having me, and thanks for interviewing me here, and welcome to everyone. Yeah, so I'm a nutritional therapist, and I got into nutrition probably like most people, like most nutritional therapists or nutritionists, through own experience. So while I would have had some kind of an interest in healthy lifestyle, healthy eating, I really experienced it when I met another nutritional therapist, and she helped me with energy levels. So it was kind of, I was getting 40 to 40, the weight wasn't just shifty, so the usual kind of thing. But what I noticed was my energy shifted, my mood, I had much better, just much better form. And so I decided this is too important not to share. So I decided to study as a health coach first, and then another 3.5 years as a nutritional therapist. And so now I work with a lot of clients. I worked here in Ireland with the weight loss and diabetes clinic first. And I think one of the things I noticed very early on was that while people might come because of weight loss or other health issues such as diabetes or digestive issues, one of the things they reported pretty soon after was their skin. Their nails, my nails are stronger, my hair looks better, I think my skin is much clearer. So there's there's definitely this connection there.
Amazing. And if we can zoom out, I always like to zoom out at the start of these things before we get really into the topic. But on a kind of more general level, like what is exactly, or what are the different functions of the skin? Obviously it's kind of protect our organs inside, but there's lots of functions which obviously nutrition plays a part.
Yeah. So I mean, we obviously the skin is. You could actually regard the skin as nearly a part of your immune system. So it keeps foreign invaders, it keeps even bacteria and viruses out of our body. So there's kind of like a protection around. So that's why the skin has a lot of layers until we get through. So it's a protective, but it's also part of our detoxification process. So when we sweat and we're basically we're sweating out the toxins. So it has that function as well.
Great.
So that's why, why we probably would see quite a lot, when we have a healthy body. So what's going on inside shows in the skin.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And I mean, it seems like an obvious question because good nutrition is like the cornerstone or the foundation of pretty much everything. But why do you think good nutrition is so important for your skin health and also your skin appearance?
Yeah. So, I mean, the skin is one of the organs that renews itself on a regular basis. So we shed our cells and then we renew them, and very quickly, much faster than in other organs. So, so what we need are basically the nutrients or building blocks that are required to build the skin new again. So when we have the waste products, to get rid of them, but we have to have the new cells, so for cell renewal. And yeah, I would call the nutrients, as if you see them, as little building blocks, really. So that's why we need the right nutrients so that we can build up the skin again.
Okay, so it helps that kind of regeneration of the skin,
Exactly.
your cell turnover, any maybe dead skin sort of moves on and new skin is generated
Yeah.
as you're kind of feeding yourself from the inside out.
Exactly. So you need those. So if you don't replenish, it's like, when you take, what you take away, you need to build up new. So that's the only way where you can really get it, is through the food you're eating.
Yeah.
You can get a little bit with good skincare products, of course. As you know, like when you look at your products, what is in them? There's a lot of plants in them. There's a lot of food in them. I saw you have a broccoli.
Yeah, no, we have a broccoli seed night cream, which is bright green. So it is almost like you're applying those foods directly on the skin. And I think, we don't make big claims, we're going to transform your skin, make you ageless. It's just about giving your skin those ingredients that will help maintain it to the best level it can be. And also just provide that additional protection, from the elements, the wind, pollution, the sun, all of those things. So yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand with the nutritional aspect, I guess. But I don't think you can do one without the other, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah. And if we're talking about the skin specifically, I mean, we talk always about a balanced diet, 5 pieces of fruit or veg a day. Sometimes people quote 10,000 steps a day, all of these food or health advice. But are there specific nutrients that you think the skin really, really needs? Like I know for skin, hair and nails, like vitamin D is good, but are there particular nutrients that we should be trying to get into our diet that will show onto our skin?
Yes, well, again, there isn't just one. There's not just one nutrient, and that is why I'm talking about, general, that your overall diet, that you need to look at your overall diet, because so I could say vitamin A is really important because it's an antioxidant, but vitamin A works better in conjunction with vitamin C and vitamin E. So when we eat our food in the most natural way, as it's designed, in fruit and vegetables, where everything comes together, that's when you get the synergy, how they work together as well. So just taking out one, or singling out one nutrient, doesn't work. It doesn't work that way in nature.
Yeah.
And but it is the ones you probably would find as well in creams. Like, so it's vitamin A, vitamin E, which are antioxidants, vitamin C. You sometimes do find them in the creams. These are all of the nutrients that are antioxidants. So what happens is, in that renewal process, basically, we are creating free radicals. So these are, the things that damage our skin, if put it simple. And in order to minimize those, we need a high amount of antioxidants, and that's those nutrients. So that's when you look at the vitamins, when we look at zinc, for example, a zinc deficiency, if you're having issues with wound healing, so if your wounds take ages or a long time to heal, is a sign that you might be lacking in zinc. So there's the minerals as well. Selenium is a very important one, but again, mainly as well because of their antioxidant properties. Another really important one is the good fats. So because our cells are all made of fat, so there's a little fat layer around, and you know yourself, like if you put hand cream on, they're greasy and fatty. So, but if they come from the inside, the good fat, omega-3s in particular, you will notice it straight away when you eat a lot of fish, oily fish in particular. You will know your skin is especially when you have dry skin, you will notice the difference. So good fats and a good variety of vitamins and minerals, which you get with exactly the balanced diet. And it's not just the 5 a day. I know they say 5 a day or 10 a day or whatever. What is important is the variety, so that you get a good variety of colors. I always say eat the rainbow.
Yes.
And so, for example, all the orangey kind of foods are rich in beta carotenes, which are the precursor for vitamin A. But if you have a variety of color, then you will notice that in your skin. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, one of our brands, Casamen, they are inspired by Mediterranean ingredients. So there's lots of citrus in there, there's tomato, olive oil, all of that. And
olive oil, yeah.
Very much like her products are sort of like eating the rainbow and applying that to your skin. So yeah, I would totally echo that. Eat the rainbow, get that variety. We've had a question from Izzy. She's saying, is there an ABC to the nutrition blocks?
Sorry, I didn't catch to the nutrition.
Is there like an ABC to the nutrition blocks is the question.
Okay. I'm not sure if I get the blocks, nutrition blocks.
Maybe Izzy could just clarify her question a little bit, and we can come back to that one.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So you talked about the body helps to remove kind of toxins, or it flushes things out from the skin. How does the body process what we're putting into the skin?
Yeah, I mean, anything, what do you mean, just to the skin, or what we put in with our food?
Well, both, I suppose. When we spoke before, we were talking about that liver and gut connection.
Yeah, so it's really basically we have a detoxification process. So anything we eat, we eliminate, as we all know. And one of the organs that supports not our gut, not only our gut, but what supports our detoxification is our liver. And so, but it's not only what we actually eat, but everything we put on our skin is absorbed into our bloodstream. So, I mean, obviously nothing big, it can't be anything big. That's why we have the barrier around it. But, the small chemicals, and I think that's what we spoke about. It's a part that is often overlooked. We tend to throw anything on our skin, but if it's in the body, it needs to be detoxified. So it has to go somewhere. It has to be so processed so that it can be eliminated. And that is the function of the liver. So it processes it, and then it's going to go out with your bowel movements. But the liver, if you want to describe it, a bit like a recycling plant. So everything that needs to be detoxified goes in the first phase, and then it has like 5 little pathways that, depending on what chemical it is, each chemical has different pathways. But if the recycled plant is full after the first thing and the pathways are kind of busy with other things, some of your toxins will be recycled, and then they can go back into your system.
So they don't leave your body on like the first flush that we say
Yeah,
release.
so they could be.
Wow.
Exactly. So they don't just go out, because if it's busy, if your liver is busy, and if you imagine all the different environmental things that are toxins nowadays, it's your environment. There's so many things we can't control. What's in our air, what's in our water. We are exposed to a lot of plastics. I know people become more and more aware, but this is all going in your body and it's all adding up. And then if on top of that you have a bad diet, you might have a lot of alcohol, you might be smoking, all of that is keeping your liver busy. So if on top of that you're also putting skincare products that are, have a lot of chemicals in it that your body doesn't even know and doesn't have anything, can't do anything with. They might be helping the cream to smell nice or to have a nice consistency, but it doesn't have any function for your body. So your liver will be quite busy, and then, it's stored. Either it goes back into the blood or it's stored. Usually any toxins are stored in your fat cells.
Wow.
So that's where they're being stored. But the other thing that can happen is, because the skin is also a detoxification organ, that it shows in your skin that you break out.
Gosh, it's quite scary, isn't it, that things can just be recirculating in our body. And I think when we put that face cream on in the morning, you don't necessarily make the connection that it's possibly being absorbed into the skin. And then, your liver is working like 24/7, especially if, you also eat really processed foods, or, you live in a city, in an urban environment. I guess if there's more pollution, you'll have to process that. So that, and I there's all of these stats that get thrown around. I don't know what the exact number is, but in the morning, I think if you think about it, maybe not so much now if we're indoors more in lockdown or whatever, but the amount of products that you put on your face, when you, or your skin, you have a shower, you might moisturize, you might put makeup on, you might put perfume on, you might put something in your hair. Like, you're exposing your body to a lot of things. So I guess maybe what you're saying is like a bit more purity is the answer, and take the stress off the liver.
Yeah, because it all adds up, it all adds up. And then, as I say, if your body isn't detoxifying what's going on, where does it go? It just goes back. And one of the big issues is hormones, for example, so they're being recycled. And then, you're hormonal as a woman or so, can be, it shows in your mood, for example, and you don't necessarily know why or what's going on, or we don't make that association. And so it just adds to the burden of it. And it's the same thing with, processed food. So if you have a lot of processed food in your body, it just adds to that overload.
Yeah. And when you say it shows on the skin, what might we be seeing on our skin that's telling us that something's not quite right inside?
Yeah, so I think the first signs are quite subtle, that people might just look a bit pale, or kind of the skin looks dull. But when you meet somebody who has glowing skin, you just know, like, it's hard to describe, but wow, they just look more, vibrant, or whatever, when it's a healthy skin. Another thing that a lot of people notice that pretty quickly, and now these days anyway, with the dry air, dry skin. But dry skin can be, I'm going to drink, can be dehydration.
Yeah. Or
So
dry
hydrate,
skin
hydrate,
condition.
hydrate. I mean, that's another really, really important aspect. So hydration, but good fats can really help with the dry skin. So that dry skin, itchiness. I'm sure everyone has at some stage experienced itchiness, itchy skin, and a lot of kind of skin conditions can be linked to food intolerances.
Yeah, I mean, we were
Dairy is one.
talking. I'm a celiac, and I used to be pretty much covered in psoriasis, very very dry, flaky skin. And as soon as I was diagnosed as celiac, then that's pretty much gone away. And I think for my age, my skin is pretty good now. So yeah, I think there's a lot of hidden mysteries to be solved sometimes when things are showing up on your skin that you can't quite explain. Chantal's asked any advice for cystic acne. She eats a vegan diet. Would you say that cystic acne is like a show of something maybe to do with the diet, or is it related to something else?
It's probably hard to kind of say it just without having really spoken to because it can have so many things going on, and that is actually, and I'd be very careful to kind of come to any conclusions, because that's actually what nutritional therapy is about, that we are looking at the whole individual and at every aspect of a person, and it can, the signs can be different for everyone.
Sure.
So that's why, yeah. So I could see two or three or four people with the same skin condition, but they could all have a different other root cause of it. And the same with psoriasis. You found out it was gluten, but it could have been in somebody else. It could have been dairy in somebody else. It could be something else, and it could be something in the gut going on, and that's why I'd be careful to say what exactly it could be. But I would, recommend looking up a good nutritional therapist in the area that maybe even specializes in skin conditions.
Perfect.
To
Okay.
go dig a bit deeper. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess as well, it's maybe about making anecdotes or trying to acknowledge when your condition of the skin that you're wanting to focus on isn't quite right. So I would track when I would have really bad flare-ups, and then that sort of led me down, well, it's when I don't feel that great, it's when I feel really bloated, and then I started to get quite ill with it. So I started to piece those things together. So I would, try to, just from my own experience, and maybe Ilona, this isn't the right thing to do at all, but I would keep like little notes and be like, why am I feeling like this? Or why is my skin like this at this time?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a very good point, Karen. And didn't get the lady's name, but definitely a food diary. Keep a food diary. Even before you see anyone. But if you keep a food diary, it can show very much, sometimes, and watch out for kind of something that comes up. So it might be, is it worse on when you eat XYZ? Maybe leave out, kind of, will it get better if you don't have gluten? Will it get better if you don't have dairy? Obviously, oh no, she's vegan, so so dairy wouldn't be an issue. But a food diary, keeping a food diary, and then you sometimes see even a pattern, and it mightn't be just one food. You could see, on that day I had a lot of wheat, for example. Is it gone worse on those days? But yeah, food diary definitely is a very good way to start. Before, I would even recommend that before going for tests, but there are various tests certainly that can help, like food intolerance tests or other tests. Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned with dry skin, it was about hydration, those good fats. For maybe an oily or a combination skin, is there anything you would suggest in terms of diet, foods, particular nutritional things that would help to kind of balance the skin a bit more if it's maybe oily and dry, or
Yeah. In general, no, there wouldn't be anything or that much different as such. Yeah, I think that's where the cosmetic comes in probably more. But from a diet point of view and from an overall, it would be very similar. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you would eat the same. Yeah,
Okay, so it's about everything in balance, the rainbow.
it's about, yeah, it's getting the nutrients in. So the dry skin is more linked to a lack of hydration, and whereas now oily skin, not so much,
It's more of
technically.
the overproduction of your sebum.
Yeah.
So if your combination, it tends to be in particular areas. I'm not sure to see where exactly yours, but I can follow up with you as well separately on this afterwards. But yeah, it's just about the balancing. And sometimes maybe the products that you're using can cause the sebum to kind of overproduce, but it can be different factors. So if I may, Izzy, I will pop you a little note tomorrow and maybe try and find some more information, and maybe we can suggest some things for you when it comes to actually the skincare rather than the diet. So yeah, fingers crossed that will help. Let me see, what is the next? Oh, we were talking about toxins and flushing that out, but something we'd spoken about before is toxic load, which I guess is that recirculation, is that the amount we're putting in our bodies and on our bodies? That's a term you hear quite a lot, so maybe you could just define
Yeah, so
that
that
for
that
us.
would be just everything, that low, what I said, there's so many things we can't control that are out in our environment, but it's the load. It's just because it's all adding up, and it has to go somewhere. It has to be kind of
Yeah,
cleared out again. It's just adding up. That's where we speak from about toxic load, and so adding chemicals, through your, like, whatever, lipsticks and face creams, and like, it's everything. And even the hand sanitizers that we use a lot these days, it all goes it's all going in straight into your system,
yeah, and it's
and it
pure
doesn't.
alcohol. It's
Hmm?
it's pure alcohol, the hand sanitizer,
Yeah,
in
some
many
of them, but some
cases.
have other chemicals in as
Yeah,
well. So it's just everything that, and a lot of things we can't avoid.
yeah.
So it's the best thing is to avoid the ones we can. Like, you know, get treat your the skin products you use, as if you're putting your food into you. Don't go with those that are loaded. It's like the same with food. I often say, if there's, look at the ingredient list, and if there's a long, long list of things that don't mean anything to you, then stay away. And it would be, with the skincare products as well.
Yeah, I mean, we always say if you can't recognize the ingredient, I mean, it's not bad in all cases, but like
No,
minimalist ingredient list with things that you can recognize, and just try and be as pure and as natural as possible, which is obviously
exactly.
what we really believe in.
Yeah.
And just if we go back to a couple of other viewers' questions. So, Kirit, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Kirit. In addition to improving one's diet, are there specific supplements for men and women who are vegetarians and vegans? Do you have any recommended supplements, or are there particular vitamins and minerals that you would suggest to supplement with if you are maybe following a vegan or vegetarian diet?
Yeah. So again, yeah, obviously, the same with supplements. You have to be careful because it can, depending. I don't know the person's health history. Are they on certain medication? That's why I would be careful. Just saying it in general. But one of the things, what we know a lot of vegan and vegetarians might lack is the B12 vitamins. And then if they don't eat fish, it's the omega-3. And there are now supplements available, vegan omega-3s, which are made from algae. and they would be probably something that's, can be very beneficial. But they, for example, if somebody is on blood thinners or warfarin or aspirin or something, you can't take them. So that's why I would normally be a bit careful to recommend Gentle. But good, good multis are, with all the antioxidants. Collagen, actually, I didn't mention that, but that's hard when you're vegetarian. But collagen, that's the building material our skin is made of. So something like bone broth is always something that's, that's a really good, or, again, you can get collagen as supplements as well.
Yeah. Would you recommend, because I think when it comes to vitamins, there's always like the recommended daily dose, and they always seem to be like super, super high. And it's almost like, let's just throw everything at it to kind of cover ourselves just in case. But, and you always, sometimes you hear, well, it doesn't matter, if your body will just get rid of it if you have too much. But I guess, is that contributing to toxic load, or is that something else, would you say? Is it okay to supplement, or should we get tested for our levels before we choose our supplements?
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, there's two different types of supplements. So there's the fat-soluble ones. That's the A, E, and D. And these can build up in your body and in your liver. So they can, if you're getting too much of them, can actually cause, liver and kidney damage, which is, for example, like most people do lack vitamin D, but you can test for vitamin D at your GP, or a lot of pharmacies, health practitioner offer the tests. But yeah, you can definitely get too much of the fat-soluble vitamins. With the water-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin C and B, you pee it out. It gets flushed out, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. So if you drink a lot of water, you pee a lot of water out.
Yeah.
And your body takes what it needs. And it's the same with the vitamins. So if you are taking your multivitamin, your body does flush out something. So when it goes very orangey, so that's the B vitamin. But it your body takes, while it's taking it, it does take what it needs. But there is also, like with everything, like with cosmetic products, there's a good difference between certain products of supplements. Some of them are better absorbed than others. Okay. So there are supplements that are made from food sources, then there's supplements that are made from, artificial, and it's the absorption. So we, like as nutritional, we always say it's not just what you eat, it's also what you absorb and assimilate, so what your body actually can use. So again, there can be a lot of differences, but I would prefer, people would get the nutrients from food. Yeah. And fresh food and real food. Yeah.
So I guess if you are thinking of supplementing, it's maybe take a look at your diet first and see where you can add vitamins and minerals and other nutrients in. And then I guess like B12, I think even if you're a meat eater, the B12 is always, depending on the quality of the meat, I believe, and I may be incorrect about this, but the animal is also supplemented for B12. So even if you're eating meat, you're not necessarily getting enough B12. So I think lots of us may be deficient, but I guess it's always wise to look at your diet and then see the gaps and then test to know what to fill it with.
And I mean, it can be so many, different factors and why like if you don't have enough stomach acid, or if you're on a certain medication, you might not absorb your vitamins as well. So you can easily test, B12, especially your GP will test that. And but I mean, it is hard nowadays to eat all the vegetables. Our soils don't have enough nutrients. Are you getting, I mean, are we eating as much as we used to eat when we were more active? So there certainly supplements do have a role. And the first, should be the food. There's another aspect to it is your gut, and if your gut health, your overall gut health, your gut bacteria, and they're being fed with fiber from the vegetables. So that's kind of another benefit of eating the real food. You're feeding your gut bacteria, and there's also, again, there's connection with nearly all diseases and with your overall health. If your gut is healthy, your overall body is healthy.
Yeah. Just another question. I guess it comes back to the quality of the supplement you were mentioning. So Jenny Abigail is saying she's taking collagen, marine collagen. Would you recommend to carry on with it or not? Because you mentioned that was one that we should perhaps consider taking. But does that, whether you carry on taking it or not, would that depend on if it's synthetic or natural, and how good a quality it was? And would you say?
I mean, obviously, like if it's, I mean, I don't know why she's taking it or if she's seeing benefit, but it's definitely, I mean, collagen is one of those, building blocks that for your skin. That is, many people see real benefit. Again, for example, it's important, and might be in the supplement, the vitamin C, to actually help absorb it. So that's where everything comes together. So sometimes you might take one, but do you have enough of the other nutrient to absorb it? Like we now know, for example, with calcium, we all now know if you don't have enough vitamin D, you can't absorb the calcium. And it's similar with, you need the C for your collagen as well.
Yeah. Great.
So it's all, and if you eat a balanced diet, a good variety of diet you will already find a very good, your skin will look good. I mean, that's something, you just see, people.
Yeah. And I think as well, if I could, just champion organic and natural products, I just feel like, to me, it makes logical sense that you're putting something that is a food or a plant, that you would nourish your body with, on your skin, rather than something that's synthetic. I know there's lots of different schools of thought, but obviously that's what we really believe at Bromley. So I would kind of accentuate, any good diet with just really like pure and raw, high quality skincare.
Yeah, absolutely. It is just that aspect that's often forgotten, that what you put on your skin, your body, it's absorbed. It goes in just like your food. So and the other thing, and I don't want to forget that, because I thought about it, we were talking about nutrition and all, but stress, and I saw, you're offering a lot of self-care products as well, kind of, it's so important to just pamper yourself. We're all so stressed these days, and stress and the high cortisol, and the that has such an other effect. So again, on your overall health. So if you can just kind of take a bit of time out and pamper yourself, just this whole feeling, you're feeling you're nourishing yourself with good food and good products, skincare products, and maybe have a nice bath, and just this pampering.
Yeah, it's kind of a holistic approach, isn't it? So those building blocks of diet, exercise, sleep is so important.
Sleep, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And going out, when you're exercising, that gets oxygen in your body, and it nourishes it brings the blood flow in your skin, and that's when your skin starts glowing, and so it's everything. It's sleep, stress reduction, the food you're putting in, the food you're not putting in as well. Avoiding all the the foods that are contaminated with pesticides, the food that are highly processed, all of that adds to the negative side. But then if we're building up the positives, that's the
Amazing. We'll just have a few more questions from
Sure. Yes.
everyone who's watching. Another one from Chantal. Can you suggest any books on nutritional skincare for people who want to continue to dive in this topic? Maybe I can add them in the comments tomorrow.
Oh, that's a very good question. On the top of my head, can I get back to you with that?
Yes, I'll put them in the comments. So when you get the replay email tomorrow, they should be in the comments, and I'll include them in the email as well tomorrow.
I know there is one, and I just
maybe one as well that also you read when you were starting your own kind of nutrition journey. I'm sure that would be very interesting to know. A personal favourite of yours. Let's see. We had loads of questions. It's difficult to choose, but one for Nay, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. She's pescatarian. She's been getting spots around her chin area. Do you think too much fish is bad for skin? Because you sometimes hear of people having maybe mercury issues who eat lots and lots of fish. But when it comes to breakouts, would you say there's a connection, or could it be something else?
Yeah, again, it could be a lot of things, but it depends again, I mean, I don't think, it's like with everything, can you eat too much fish? Yeah. What kind of fish is it? Is it, fish does come, there is this kind of finding the right balance.
I guess if you're eating fish from the fish and chip shop all the time, which is covered in batter, that maybe might cause a breakout. But if it's, steamed fish or, whatever,
exactly.
Maybe
I mean, like now I would go for salmon. I wouldn't compromise. I would only buy organic.
Yeah.
Because they are treated, on the farmed salmon, a lot of, highly with antibiotics and things. So I would be cautious there. But then I don't know what kind of fish she eats, but it's, you could argue, if you eat a lot of vegetables, you will get a lot of pesticides if you don't eat everything organic. Where's the balance, but you can't really, as such, overeat if it's a good quality fish.
Okay. So maybe, again, a little note is, when are you experiencing those breakouts? Keep a food diary. Maybe also keep a skincare diary if there's particular things. Maybe it coincides with hormonal changes each month, or it could be other things. So I'd say it's great with all the questions. We want to speak very generally, but I think, as Ilona said, it could be something that's very, very personal. So I think the first step would be anecdote and note down any things that you notice. But of course, Ilona is a qualified nutritionist, and she sees clients virtually all the time. So her details are in the bottom in the comments. So if you wanted to have maybe a consultation, or she runs courses, you can maybe check those out to see if there's anything that might help you. So yes, I think that's all we've got time for, unless anyone sneaks in any last minute questions. But Ilona, do you want to just finish by telling us a little bit about your process, maybe with your clients, so people, if they've got those specific questions, would know what to expect if they were to contact you and want to take this nutritional, getting glowing skin further?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is I like to have a chat with anybody who's interested in it first. So just really to see, to explain how I work, and maybe have a chat, what somebody expects and what the issues are. So if anyone is interested, book in just a call, we'll chat for whatever, 20 minutes, half an hour, and to find out, does it work? But if you decide to work with me on a one-to-one, I work over a period of time, and, with a couple of appointments, because one thing I have noticed is with one appointment, there's so much to explain, and as you've probably even heard tonight, there's so many things and so many factors. So I would see somebody over a period of 8 weeks or 12 weeks, and we meet regularly to see what works. And yeah, look, what works, we try out things, and there's a lot of trial and error sometimes, but we work over a longer period of time, and then we create new habits. That's really where I come in, because I mean, most people know generally what a good diet is, but it's going to be specific to you, but it's also the how. How do you get rid of sugar? So it's, for many, it's the sugar cravings that are downfall. So it's the thing. But then from time to time, I offer masterclass, a specific topic. Kind of an hour webinar. I sometimes have group sessions where we go over, generally good nutrition and health. So, if you don't want a one-to-one, but you can also get a lot out of the other topics.
Yeah, because you're absolutely right. I mean, we all know the basics, but when you're at home as well, I think it's particularly difficult because it gets to 3 o'clock and I'm like, oh, I just love a piece of chocolate, and you know that it's bad, but you just need that structure, I guess, and that person to help you realize when you're maybe making decisions and how to get around those. So yeah, you've got some fascinating courses, and Nay's just asked if we can include the detail of that, so I'll pop that in the follow-up email that everyone's going to get tomorrow. So you'll get the replay as well if you want to listen to any other questions or bits and pieces. I see Valera, I popped you a little comment. For eczema specifically, I think we just repeat the same information. Keep a diary maybe of any flare-ups and what you think might be linked to it, but I will send you a little email separately, as we've got some products that have been formulated for eczema if you wanted to try a natural route before going to a prescribed route. So I will contact you tomorrow and hope that we can help with that. But yeah, otherwise
there's a big link to the gut with
eczema.
Yeah.
Have you got any other thing you might expand on for this person who's asking about eczema, or would it really depend on their individual history?
It is individual, but there is it's quite well known that there is whatever is going on in the gut. But again, that is something you can test. You can do tests on to see what exactly is going on. But there's definitely a link to your gut health as well.
Okay, interesting.
But if you pop in the, so I can have a chat.
Yeah, we'll definitely follow up with you on that one. Okay, well, thank you everyone for all of your questions. It's been really, really interesting.
Great. Yeah, really, really good questions.
Yeah.
Get back to the ones that I couldn't answer.
Yes, no, we definitely will. We've got lots of follow-up to do, which is just great. And, I've learned lots as well. So thank you so much, Ilona, for all of your help.
Thank you. And yeah.
Great. Well, that's it for tonight, but keep on you're all subscribed to our community of events, so we will share with you for free what our next monthly live stream is, and you can stay signed up, and then you'll get all of the access details for that as well. And that one is about well-being and organization, so it's going to be quite interesting because we're all at home more, we're all in this very similar environment all the time, and actually that can hamper our well-being. So we're going to talk about that, and also organising our skincare and our makeup and our beauty products, and how we can sort of not have so many unhygienic products, which is really, really big right now, keeping everything clean, hygienic, really safe to use. So yeah, stay signed up for that. And if you did want to talk about any skincare products specifically after tonight, then don't forget you can check out our free video consultations with me, so I can suggest some products that are kind of more specific to you if you did have particular questions, but we'll pop a link to that in the follow-up email as well tomorrow. So thanks everyone, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.